Times of transition, whether from a sad event or a joyful one, can leave us feeling adrift. Social connections are an important part of a healthy life. Being isolated and lonely can be harmful to your health. It can lead to high blood pressure, a greater risk of heart disease, and early onset dementia. So it's important to build and maintain connections to people, not just in your family, but others whose relationships bring meaning to your life. Trying a new hobby, volunteering, exercising, even using your phone or other device to stay in touch with others. All these can be great ways to keep up your social connections and your physical and mental well-being. Visit connecttoeffect.org to see if you're at risk of social isolation and find ways to get connected. This message is brought to you by United Healthcare and AARP Foundation.
Straight ahead, law enforcement are cracking down on impaired drivers. We'll explain how to stay safe if you plan on going out for New Year's Eve. Plus, it could cost more to insure your vehicle in Wisconsin. We'll have a look at what's contributing to higher rates. And a woman is being recognized for her decades of service. We'll have the details as your local news starts right now.
News Watch 12 with Jessica Jukic and Conrad Sapinski.
Welcome to News Watch 12 at 5. I'm Jessica Jukic. Tomorrow night, many people will be out celebrating the last day of 2022. But for law enforcement, it's a busy day because of the large amount of people that will be drinking and driving. News Watch 12's Mohammed Abdul Kawi joins us in studio to tell us how they're preparing for the busy holiday weekend. Mohammed?
That's right, Jessica. Being under the influence while operating a vehicle is not only dangerous for you, but it's also dangerous for others. Tomorrow, the Oneida County Sheriff's Department will be out patrolling the area to make sure people are safe and sound before the upcoming year.
So it's super dangerous to operate a motor vehicle while under the influence.
New Year's Eve is a day full of celebration for many, but it is also the most dangerous time to be on the road as well because of drunk drivers.
So people are consuming intoxicating beverages, and then people subsequently have to get home, and most people unfortunately choose to drive under the influence.
Deputy Sheriff Michael Barron from the Oneida County Sheriff's Department says this is a day that the law enforcement takes very seriously.
We get a lot of reckless driving calls during this time from other concerned citizens, so we make sure we can follow up, try to locate that vehicle. If we observe driving that's concerning to us and we have violations, we're going to stop that vehicle and make sure that that driver is safe to operate on the roadway.
Some of the ways to prevent accidents from happening is to use services like taxis and other public transport, or having a designated driver to help take you home.
There are options out there. I know the Tavern League of Wisconsin offers safe rides from the bars and taverns down, especially downtown Rhinelander, and even the bars in the county. But remember that there's only a certain number of safe rides that they can offer.
The Sheriff's Department wants everyone to end 2022 on a good note and not behind bars.
We just want you guys to get home safe, so to make a good, solid choice so that we don't have to have you in the back of our squad car on New Year's Eve.
AAA is also offering their Tow-to-Go program as a last resort. When someone calls Tow-to-Go, AAA dispatches a tow truck to transport the impaired driver and their vehicle to a safe location within a 10-mile radius. Jessica?
One man was killed and another injured following a crash that happened in the town of Vilas yesterday. The crash happened around 9 p.m. at the intersection of County Highway H and Lloyd Creek Road. Deputies found that the one vehicle heading west had failed to stop at a stop sign and was hit by another vehicle heading north. All occupants of the northbound vehicle were unharmed. However, both the driver and passenger of the westbound vehicle were transported to the hospital. The driver is currently being treated for their injuries, and the passenger of the vehicle was pronounced dead at the hospital. Alcohol is believed to be a factor in the crash. It started off a little warmer, but it kind of cooled off today. What's in store for us this weekend?
Yeah, we were really mild in the morning hours, Jessica. We had temperatures around 41 degrees, and then it quickly started to plummet as a cold front passed by. Taking a look outside right now, we just have some cloud cover all across the area, but that green on the radar, that is some rain we actually had overnight and then into the morning hours today, and then a cold front came by, really cooled things off, and now there is a lot of ice, so it's very slippery outside, folks. Take extra extra precautions as temperatures have dropped. Cold front is pretty much hovering in Michigan right now. Even Chicago has cooled off. They were in the 60s and now they are in those mid 30s. But same here in the state of Wisconsin. We're back into the 20s and we're actually going to continue to cool off tonight and then into the day tomorrow. So like I said, morning high of around 41 degrees. Quickly cooling off and then into the 20s out of nowhere. Our average should be around 24 degrees this time of year. Look at that record, 1936 of 48 degrees. So we were just 7 degrees shy of tying our record that happened close to 100 years ago. Tonight, though, temperatures will continue to cool off. It's going to get pretty cold outside. By tomorrow morning, we'll have temperatures in those mid to upper single digits. Jessica?
Wisconsin ranks among the worst in the country when it comes to dangerous drivers. That's according to the insurance review site quotewizard.com. According to researchers, Wisconsin has the 4th highest number of DUIs and the 5th highest number of speeding tickets. And that ranking means it could cost you more to insure your vehicle even if you have a perfect driving record. Research analysts say that for receiving a speeding ticket, your insurance is likely to go up by 26% over the next 3 years. On top of that, even if you have a perfect driving record, you're likely... Wall Street closed out the year with the modest losses Friday, capping its worst year since 2008. The S&P 500 ended the year down 19%, and the Dow Jones has fallen 9.4% since this time last year. The war in Ukraine, continued supply chain issues, and a fall in consumer confidence are just some of the issues that plague stocks this year. Tesla logged its biggest ever annual decline in value, but energy stocks were a bright spot on the last trading day of 2022. An update on the Moscow, Idaho quadruple murder investigation. According to court records provided by NBC News, Brian Kohberger was taken into custody in northeast Pennsylvania and is awaiting extradition to Idaho. The 28-year-old is a person of interest in connection with the University of Idaho student murders. Ethan Chapin, Madison Mogan, Xana Kernoodle, and Kaylee Goncalves were all stabbed multiple times during the early morning hours of November 13th. The attack shocked the small, usually peaceful town of Moscow and led an outpouring of support for the victims' families. The coroner's report suggested some of the students were sleeping when the attack began. North Central Healthcare has named their new executive director. The agency announced the appointment of new director Gary Olson yesterday. He will be taking over for interim director Mort McBain, who has been operating in that role since last April. Olson has been with the organization since May, serving as the finance director. Olson also has almost 30 years of government experience, including 16 years as Langley County finance director. A community leader is being celebrated after decades of service. After 16 years as executive director, Shelley Holmes is retiring from Tri-County Council on Domestic Violence and Sexual Assault. Employees, partner agencies, and community members took time today to say thank you.
Shelley will definitely be missed. She's been a mentor to me since I started at Tri-County 6 years ago, and she has some really big shoes to fill.
Shelley has served Oneida, Forest, and Vilas County since 2004. The field of legal advocacy has a high rate of employee turnover, yet Tri-County staff has remained stable.
And I think her compassion and her empathy and her willingness to just be there for us every single day.
Her co-workers say her leadership and presence will be missed. Shelley's last official day is tomorrow. We're getting a glimpse at former President Donald Trump's tax returns. And a nonprofit is giving back to Rhinelander residents. We'll have the details after Weather with Conrad right here on Newswatch 12.
The holidays are for making memories. And you can count on Honda to help you make them. Whether it's in a capable Ridgeline, adventurous CRV, a rugged Passport, or a dynamic Pilot. Start making memories of your own with a new Honda during Happy Honda Days. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or visit your local Honda dealer today.
Uh-oh. Did your holiday hosting create a couple extra stains in your carpet? Or do you just need an update for your old flooring? Come to Carpet City Flooring Center and start your year off right with free carpet installation. That's right, free carpet installation. If money is a little tight, Carpet City Flooring Center can help make your project affordable with interest-free financing. Get your free carpet installation today.
Carpet City, our prices will floor you.
You've decided to go back to school. Good for you. So, which would you rather do? Get up early, get dressed, drive to college, find a parking spot, walk across campus, only to sit in a giant lecture hall, or earn your degree from home with Independence University.
I have two small children, a 10-year-old and a 4-year-old, so the online format and the flexibility was a must.
I could work at my own pace, and I was still able to take care of my kids while going to school.
We'll even provide you with a new laptop and tablet to keep when you graduate, and a personal student success team.
I have had such personalized attention, and it's an online degree.
If I had a question on the coursework, I always got my answer within an hour or two.
I will never be able to express what I owe this institution.
Independence University, online, but never alone.
Call 1-800-879-1493. 1-800-879-1493.
And welcome back. It's our last Friday of 2022. Can you believe that? That came so fast. But with those warmer temperatures as well, we actually had some rain showers in the morning hours today and then quickly started to cool off. Those rain showers moved out of the area. So a lot of that snow became ice, became some water, and then really started to freeze up as temperatures cooled off. Right now we're in the clear. We do have some clouds in the area. Most of that rain is in Michigan at the moment, really moving out of the region. But another low pressure system will be moving in. It's starting right now in the west, and as it continues to move up, it's going to really start to ramp up, especially Monday, Tuesday, into that Wednesday morning time frame. So we're looking at a little bit of snowfall tomorrow night into the morning hours on Sunday. So it looks like it's going to be less than half an inch, maybe a trace in some spots. And then it gets interesting Monday into Tuesday especially. Some freezing rain, some sleet will get mixed into there as temperatures stay pretty much close to that freezing mark, quickly transitioning to some snow during the day on Tuesday and then into the overnight hours. Same thing. Still a little bit too early to say how much we're going to get, but it does look like we're going to get some snow on the back end of the storm. Visibilities right now are starting to drop. Once again, we're going to have low visibility, some dense fog in the area, kind of like last night. Looked like a ghost town. That's how foggy it was. Places had close to zero visibility, and same thing is going to happen tonight as we really start to get dense outside and into those morning hours tomorrow. So if you like roller coasters, hop on and let's go on this ride. Early morning high of around 41 degrees, but look what happens, 8 degrees by tomorrow morning. Can you believe that? A whole 180 of temperatures since the morning and then throughout the day today as a cold front passed by, and it's really starting to cool us off. Right now, that cold front is pretty much hovering close to Ohio, where temperatures are still in the 50s up there, but then quickly going to start cooling down as everybody will get past that cold front coming by. Right now, we're hovering in those lower 20s at the moment. A couple of teens in the region. Overall, we're in the 20s right now, but temperatures are going to continue to drop, and they're going to get really cold overnight. Our feels like temperature feels like we're in the teens right now. It's a little bit of a breeze, not much of a wind, but still a little bit of a breeze. With those cooler temperatures, definitely feels a lot colder than that actual temperature reading outside. Look what happens. Our average should be around 24 degrees this time of year. We were pretty warm the last several days. Look what happens by Sunday, our first day of the year. Mother Nature is warming us up. We're going to be hovering close to that freezing mark once again into Monday and into Tuesday as that low starts to move in. Then after it moves out, a cold front comes by and then cools us off once again. We'll be back into those low to mid 20s, middle to end of next week. So colder air will start to arrive pretty much near our average for this time of year. Tonight, though, another chilly night. Temperatures will be hovering at around 8 degrees, partly cloudy skies, but be careful outside, there will be dense fog in the area. Some places will have near zero visibility with that wind pretty much more on the calm end, setting us up for some dense fog overnight. Our 7-day outlook brought to you by Northwoods Furniture and Mattress does show a pretty mild next several days, but then starting Wednesday, though, we really start to cool off with temperatures back in the 20s. Jessica and Jeff?
Thank you, Conrad. Jeff, we all know how important radar is to weather forecasting, but it does have its limitations, but that might be changing soon.
It's true. There's a private company now stepping up to fill those voids across parts of Wisconsin. We'll have more on that this spring, but our first initial report now from my friend Kristen at TMJ4 in Milwaukee.
From tornadoes and high winds to hail and snowstorms. Weather radars allow us to see into the clouds and see where a storm will hit. But across Wisconsin, not all communities have the same access to these important tools.
Radar coverage in southeast Wisconsin is great. We're served very well by the National Weather Service radar located in Sullivan. Other radars that serve the state include one located in Green Bay, another in La Crosse, and one located in Duluth, Minnesota, which serves parts of northwest Wisconsin. But look at all the space in between. Southwest, central, and much of northern Wisconsin are not served well by the existing radar network.
Jeff Weller, chief meteorologist at Newswatch 12 in Rhinelander, knows all too well.
To viewers, it looks like the storm's falling apart on radar, when it actually is not. It's actually could be growing, but the radar can't see it.
In summer, severe storms become hard to track. And in winter, snow events sometimes aren't even detected by radar.
We have to rely on, ground truth reports, law enforcement, weather watchers and camera networks, which, in 2022, that's kind of prehistoric.
But that will soon change.
We're going to know that there is a tornado on the ground sooner than we've known before.
Tad McGuire is the vice president of global sales for Climavision, a company working to install hundreds of radars across the country.
Here in Wisconsin, we'll be installing 4 radars in addition to those that are already in place from the National Weather Service. We'll be giving much better coverage to the western part of the state, kind of west of Madison, and then up through the northwest, La Crosse, Eau Claire, and all the way up into the Minnesota line.
The existing network is comprised of about 160 radars nationwide. Climavision's radars would fill the gaps in between existing sites.
For us, this is a game changer.
Work in Wisconsin is expected to begin in early 2024.
At the end of the day, we're going to produce a much better forecast for everyone.
Forecasts that keep you and your family safe from any storm.
And Jessica, this is a big deal, a long time in the making. For years, we thought the government would step in and kind of fill those holes. That's not happening. A private company is now doing that. Installation likely in the next couple of years. It'll take some time, but we're going to fill in those radar holes finally, and that'll give us a much better way to forecast, especially severe weather across north central Wisconsin.
That's really great news, and it'll help everyone and keep everyone safe.
It sure will.
Thank you, Jeff.
Sure.
Well, a nonprofit organization in Rhinelander is making small changes that are having a big impact on the community. The Hodag Tens was established in February 2021 and since then has created a few projects to benefit people in Rhinelander. The 2 co-founders, Robin Metz and Caitlin Edwardson, had decided to bring sled hubs to Soraka Park and the Northwood Golf Course in Rhinelander. Both sled hubs get used frequently, according to the co-founders. Robin says the sled hubs give kids another way to burn off some energy outside.
Long winters, not a ton of things to do other than, you're skiing, you're sledding, a lot of outdoor activities in the snow. So we figured this would be just another option for the kiddos.
The Hodag Tens also brought a few small food pantries that are being set up around town. Caitlin says they're constantly being used by community members who take what they need and give what they can. She hopes to see the organization grow its impact on the community in the future.
I do hope they continue. As long as we continue to get sleds donated, they should have a very long life out here.
The 2 co-founders say they couldn't do this without the support from the community. They ask that whoever uses sleds from the sled hub keep them in good condition at their respective locations. 6 years of former President Donald Trump's tax returns were released today by the House Ways and Means Committee. The returns span the years 2015 through 2020. The committee received them a few weeks ago and voted to release them last week after a long legal battle that went to the Supreme Court. Lawmakers delayed the release to redact personal information like Social Security numbers. Trump was the first president in decades to not voluntarily release his returns to the public, fighting for years to keep them secret. In a campaign video Friday, Trump called the planned release a, quote, outrageous abuse of power and, quote, completely unconstitutional. A New York man is being hailed as a hero for saving people during the recent blizzard. Coming up, we'll tell you how he managed to get many people to safety.
Furniture and Appliance Mart is having its biggest New Year's mattress sale ever. This weekend only. Save over $1,300 instantly on Beautyrest Select mattresses. Or get 5 years no-interest financing on all Purple and Tempur-Pedic mattresses at Furniture and Appliance Mart.
At Chevy, the holidays mean going places and doing things you love to do with friends and family. Visit your local Chevy dealer, and when you find your red tag, you find your deal. Then make the most of your time with the people who matter most. Find new moments, find new roads. Well-qualified buyers get 1.9% financing on all 2022 Silverado 1500 Crew Cab pickups, or get $1,500 total cash allowance on this Silverado with a 2.7-liter engine. Plus, current Chevy owners get $2,500 cash allowance.
We've invited everyone who either won the show or nearly won the show. It's the best of the best versus the best.
The biggest party in Hollywood is back.
You smell amazing.
Please rap. I waited 20 years for this. You gonna wait?
Gerard Carmichael hosts the Golden Globe Awards, January 10th on NBC.
Introducing Granite Stone, the all-new durable non-stick pan. No butter or oil needed. Look, sticky candies, burnt-on cheese, caramel and chocolate. Even upside-down pan pizza just doesn't stick. Perfectly sear filet or fire flambe. Get your Granite Stone pan for just $19.99. And with every order, you're going to get a Granite Stone single-serve egg pan absolutely free. Order now.
To order, call 1-800-898-6703. That's 1-800-898-6703 or order on.
Furniture and Appliance Mart is having its biggest New Year's mattress sale ever. This weekend only. Save over $1,300 instantly on Beautyrest Select mattresses. Or get 5 years no-interest financing on all Purple and Tempur-Pedic mattresses at Furniture and Appliance Mart.
Authorities in upstate New York reached out to thank a man they say broke into a school to help others find shelter during the recent blizzard. Cindy Yor has more on the man who is now being hailed as a hero.
To whom it may concern, I'm terribly sorry about breaking the school window and breaking in the kitchen. These words start off a message left behind by 27-year-old Jay Withy. His note sums up a story of community and a strong will to survive during the worst storm to hit Western New York in a generation.
I said, I have to do something. There's other people stuck around here. I know there is. We can't be the only ones stuck. So I told them I'm going to break into the school.
Cheektowaga police posted these surveillance images on social media, trying to track Withy down. It was Friday night, and dozens of people were left stranded in their cars on Delavan Avenue overnight when Robert Holzman says they all got a knock on their window and a way out.
Somebody approached the car, and so they got into the school. That was Jay.
It was really God's will. I broke the window, got inside. I opened the doors, alarms going off.
In an interview with WBEN Radio, Withy says he took several trips up and down Delavan, looking in cars and bringing people to safety one by one inside Edge Academy.
Yeah, like I said, I walked till I cried. I walked till I couldn't walk anymore.
Withy's letter goes on to say, got stuck at 8 p.m. Friday and slept in my truck with two strangers just trying not to die. And Sabrina Andino, who found refuge inside of the school, says it's because of Jay that none of them did.
I thought we were going to die.
The group roamed the halls gathering essentials like apples and cereal just to survive. Holzman pictured here carting blankets and water back to the others. They even set up a TV to watch the Bills game.
And without Jay breaking in at school, as much bad as it sounds, but he saved us.
Because of Withy, 24 people are still alive.
This is a bond. We're all survivors.
And after a day of waiting there inside,
I'm overwhelmed. My son's overwhelmed. I mean, that's all he wanted for Christmas was for me to come home.
everything was put back in its place, and the only thing left was this note and these final words. I had to do it to save everyone and get them shelter and food and a bathroom.
I've never been much of the type of person that everything happens for a reason, but I'm definitely a believer now.
And that note was signed, Merry Christmas, Jay. Sydney Orr, 7 News, Buffalo.
Furniture and Appliance Mart is having its biggest New Year's appliance sale ever. This weekend only. Save up to $700 on Frigidaire packages. Washer and dryer pairs start at $10.99. Over-the-range microwaves start at just $2.29. And free platinum delivery at Furniture and Appliance Mart.
Looking to feed a group? Rhinelander Pub is the fresh, easy choice for nearly any occasion or event, offering full-service custom catering for parties and events of all sizes, providing personalized planning assistance and exceptional service. Partner with us to create an unforgettable event.
Stuck on eggs, burnt on batter. You can't escape the nightmare of your sticky pans. Introducing the Granite Stone Pan, the all-new durable non-stick pan. No butter or oil needed. Watch, we melted down these sticky candies in Granite Stone, and it just doesn't stick. We cooked a half a dozen eggs, bacon, cheese, and tomato breakfast with no butter or oil, and it just doesn't stick. Fire flambe or perfectly seared filet, just like the pros. Plus, it's PFOA-free and 100% dishwasher safe. Call or go online to get your Granite Stone Pan for just $19.99. Granite Stone is so durable it comes with a 10-year warranty. And with every order, you're going to get a Granite Stone single-serve egg pan absolutely free. We'll even ship your entire order free. You get it all. An incredible value.
To order, call 1-800-898-6703. That's 1-800-898-6703 or order online at buygranitestone.com.
Bam! My accident? My accident happened in a second.
My settlement? That's taking a really long time.
If you've been injured in an accident and need money now while your case settles, call Oasis today. We'll work with your attorney, and if you're approved, get you $500 to $100,000 in as little as 24 hours. If you lose your case, you don't have to pay Oasis back, ever. Applying for Oasis Express Cash is easy and takes 3 minutes. Call Oasis now or go online to apply.
The Northwoods provides plenty of beauty year-round, and the weather events that develop can produce some amazing photos. Submit yours online at WJFW's weather photo section on the website to share with the WJFW weather team.
Furniture and Appliance Mart is having its biggest New Year's appliance sale ever. This weekend only. Save up to $700 on Frigidaire packages. Washer and dryer pairs start at $10.99. Over-the-range microwaves start at just $2.29. And free platinum delivery at Furniture and Appliance Mart.
Conrad, it was a lot warmer yesterday. This is such a big change from yesterday to today.
Yeah, massive difference, right? We were in the 40s yesterday, and then today, a whole 180. We had a morning high of around 41, then a cold front came by. Take a look outside right now. That cold front is pretty much hovering in Ohio right now, where temperatures are still in the 50s, and then quickly going to cool off as that cold front continues to push east. So now here in our state, we're in the 20s. There's more snow on the way, though. This low pressure system is brewing in the west right now. That's going to be moving in Monday night into Tuesday. For us, a little bit more snow Saturday night into Sunday. We're looking at maybe half an inch.